You might. But she won't be able to get you. I got it right now. All right, baby. Love you. 3-6. All right. Love you. Love you. I'm not sure what you're doing. Hi, Carol.
Hi, how are you?
Busy. No. I don't like you. 3-6. I don't like you. Yeah. Screws everything up in the planning. Yes, that. Okay, yeah, I got a hold of him and let him know. You got something right out for him? Okay, I told him you were trying to get something out of him. Now you have another set up. Hi. Still gotta get well, I can have it land. Yeah, Fairchild.
Now these were simple aircraft to operate. The landing gear was fixed. Didn't have to worry about raising or lowering the gear. The propeller was a constant speed. Our correction was a fixed pitch propeller. You had to be careful about overspeeding the engine. You see a canopy on that one, that was the PT-26. That came about because the PT-19 that they were putting together for the Canadian forces found that the front of the light didn't go north. So they put a greenhouse canopy on that. These were planes that I'll call you later. The silver airplane that was going by there's the two Stinsons coming by. Both of them with either continental or like homing engine, and I'm going to change the number of the aircraft. PT-13 or PT-17. That red Fairchild passing down in front of you. Look at 1940 being flown by Colonel Sean Neal, the Civil Air Patrol. He's from Freehold, New Jersey. The Civil Air Patrol, born in 1941, 1 week prior to the attack at Pearl Harbor. And the Civil Air Patrol, flown by civilian pilots, their service during World War II and to this day in search and rescue operations is recognized on May 30th, 2014. President Obama signed into law a bill awarding the Congressional Gold Medal to the Civil Air Patrol. I mentioned it was founded in December 1941, just before the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Thousands of citizens concerned about the defense of American coastline. Under the jurisdiction of the Army Air Forces, CAP pilots flew more than 500,000 hours, performing a wide variety of duties, including coastal patrol for submarine activity, as well as ship personnel in distress. They towed targets for the Army Air Forces, so the fighter pilots and airborne pilots. And also the little aircraft used courier flights for essential personnel and war materials. The CAP crew from Rehoboth Beach, Delaware was the first to disrupt the Nazi sub-attack off the coast of the United States, saving a tanker off of Cape May, New Jersey. There's lots of stories depending on who you talk to as to whether the CAP actually dropped any demolition bombs or any other charges. And sinking these submarines, depends on who you talk to. But they certainly were effective in pointing out where they were and changing lines in the submarine. It might be a better idea to get out of Dodge because they've been detected.
I think they're gearing up. They're going for it. Oh yeah, they won't cancel unless the wind indicator ends up now in town.
Folks, while we're watching the primary trainers, PTs coming around for you, I've been notified that our jumpers this afternoon are going to be jumping authentic World War II type parachutes. Are back there near the C-46, and they are actually shooting up at the sky, so to speak. Trains they can use here in the back. But they're preparing their parachutes, and if you folks that are back there on the ramp near the C-46 would like to take a look at that, you're welcome to come by and watch that operation that's taking place right now as we speak.
Right over top of it.
I know that.
Rather know.
called a PT-13, and it had the like homing engine on it. We'd have to take a look at the tape and see the difference. Continental engine becomes a PT-17. Both of them are 20 horsepower, both have the same weight and size.
Got a light?
Where would you like?
Excuse me? When you're ready to take that out, you can yell. I'll be right here.
I'm going to put Kennedy off on first section. Okay, we our primary trainers are touching down. Now you can see, if you look toward the runway and to your left, they're landing on runway 36. And you can see how little runway they are using as they land into the wind. And I mentioned before how desirable that is because if you use less runway. And I used to fly a Boeing 747, and we'd be touching down, landing as much as 660,000 pounds. So you kind of need a little bit of runway out there in front of you in order to get that thing stopped. That's the same situation. The wind blows across runways, no matter, it doesn't care who you are, or how wide or how long the runway is. And we had lots of good things like anti-skid brakes, and we had thrust reversing, where those great big engines could help to slow you down, but still, you wanted to land into the wind to use less runway. That's the same technique, even though the airplane was that big. If it was blowing across the runway, which it always was, you had to use those same techniques in order to get the big beast onto the ground. And I've got about 23,000 hours. One of the kids asked me if there was ever anything I wanted to do before I had to retire. And I said, you know, there is. Once, I would like to land into the wind. Almost never happened. I mean, you get in a little airplane, I used to have a pet special, and that was a lot of fun. Fortunately, it was a very maneuverable airplane, and you could do all those magic things as you were trying to get it on the ground, as the wind's trying to blow you across the field. But you're seeing that happening now to a lesser extent because our PTs are landing into the wind that's blowing from the north right now, runway 36. And as you can see, they're only using about 100 feet of runway as they touch down.
Okay, so right up on a wall. Harry, are you using the same speed as yesterday, 131.15?
1.5, and if we have to switch, it's going to go down.
You're an ass.
31.45?
If we have to move, it's traffic on 31.5.
Okay.
Yesterday it was clear.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? You don't have to shoot it yourself. Uh-oh. Speaking of Mr. Hollywood, keep moving back.
And with all these aircraft that were landing at the same time, spacing sometimes becomes a problem. So Brian Gershwin, PT-19, I believe it was, decided to make a go around. You heard the power now up, it's back in the air once again. You can see that the traffic pattern is basically a racetrack shape. They're in right-hand traffic because they make right-hand turns and stay in that racetrack shape. He's on what's called the downwind portion of it right now, and he's about to start a 90-degree right-hand turn to what's called the base leg, and then he'll make one more 90-degree right-hand turn to line up on the final approach to runway 36. I mentioned before about the Civil Air Patrol and the Congressional Medal of Honor being awarded to Civil Air Patrol personnel who participated in those efforts in World War II. And if you have a friend or a relative that you know of that actually flew for the Civil Air Patrol during World War II, I urge you to contact Civil Air Patrol here where you live and tell them about that, give them the name and so forth, because we're trying to track down all the participants who are deserving of that medal award.